So this is day one, and we still got a lot of the day left. We got meetings, we got walkthroughs, we got weightlifting, so we got a lot to go yet.
Having said that, how was day one in your opinion?
I thought that they worked at it hard. I'd like to see a little bit better pushing through things, but that all comes with doing over and over and over. But overall, we got a ton of reps. We did 2 fields, and I was really pleased with that organization by our coaching staff.
Coach, from the spring till now, who impressed you and why in terms of, wow, here's a guy that really got in better shape, here's a guy that really was in his playbook. Who really impressed you in that interim?
Well, I don't know right now, I'm sorry to tell you that. We'll go in and watch the tape because I was going from field to field to field. But I thought some of our DBs are out in the spring, came out and pushed through it today. I thought that was good. And then I thought that some of our running backs did a good job on the naked eye there. But I'll go watch the film and be able to tell more.
How difficult is that for you jumping around?
It's good. I'm making sure I'm coaching all the intangibles, and you have to jump around and do that. You have to see it all the time and do that, and that's the beauty of film. You know, in the old days, that's why they built the big towers.
Right.
They had more coaches because there wasn't a limit on coaches, and they had the head coach would sit in the tower because they didn't have good film, and he could see everything at 30,000 feet, and he would take notes. That's why they had a tower. Now we don't. We got the film to watch, and now we can watch it over and over. We got all different angles, so nobody escapes, and everything that we're looking for fundamentally we can figure out.
So you're saying when you're coaching intangibles, you're making sure energy and effort are there, and the position coaches are doing a lot of the instruction.
Yes, exactly right. And they're also making sure they're staying on the energy. So, like I say, when the Coach Cutcliffe used to always tell me, when you go out to practice, the curtain goes up, and the show is on, and when practice is over, the curtain goes down. So you better be working and acting and going at that time, because we always say practice doesn't make perfect. Okay, it's practice makes permanent. It makes so if you're doing something wrong, or you're not hustling, or you're not putting your eyes in the right place, and you're not doing that, and they do it over and over, they can practice all they want, but they're gonna practice it wrong, and it permanently becomes wrong. Kind of like my golf swing. You practice it wrong, it's hard to ever correct it, right?
That's why I don't practice.
Yes.
Coach, in the spring, one of the things you talked about is the culture that you wanted to build here, and I guess the message that you wanted this team to have. Is there an identity that's developing, or something you want to get out?
Yeah, we have a good team camaraderie, I believe. I saw the guys helping each other, pushing each other, working through everything. I saw a good understanding of taking coaching. Our guys were coaching them, pushing them, going with it. There wasn't any guys complaining or all that with the coach, and they took it and pushed. That's extremely important. That's all part of culture.
Coach, you always want to come.
Kind of piggybacking off of her question, I saw you send some of the guys on and off and tell them, hey, no jogging back on. How'd you feel with the energy out there today?
I thought the energy was good. What happens is it's also it shows that intensity level, going back and taking the field, taking off the field is extremely important. But also in our heat and what we do, it also builds conditioning at the same time. So there's about 3 things it does. Number 1, they sprint on and get ready, because in today's football, if you sprint out there and get set, you can snap the ball now. They don't hold it like they used to. So the defense has got to know that, the offense got to know it. The second thing is, when you sprint out, you got to look for the signal. You can't sprint out and then ask the buddy what the signal was. We make them look for the signal. And then the third thing is the conditioning aspect of it. So if you do that over and over during the day, you're going to really be in good shape. But through a game, it's going to make a big difference.
Was that part of the reason for the 5-minute intervals? We saw on each field 5-minute intervals with each offense team.
Yes, we have 5-minute intervals, and then we keep the clock running that way. We have a certain amount of plays we want to do in the 5 minutes. Sometimes they got through and we had 30 seconds rest. Sometimes they got right at the horn and they had to go to the next period, but that's how we're doing it. To keep everything running smoothly.
Go ahead, Ruby.
Coach, there's always, everybody talks about competition. There's always a quarterback competition, but so you usually know who the quarterback is. There's a real quarterback competition.
Yeah, there is. We have a good competition going. We have a good competition at a lot of positions. That's why you see us practice 2 fields. So everybody can get reps. Everybody can work. We got some young guys and some newcomers that just came that are kind of learning. So if they stand on the sidelines and try to learn it, they're not going to learn it. They have to get the reps. So everybody gets the same amount of reps. We get a ton of reps done. As you can say, we're constant. There's hardly anybody standing very long. And that's part of training them. It's part of getting them in condition. And it's definitely part of getting 11 on 11 reps. You only really get better in 11 on 11 reps. You work your fundamentals, and then you see if you can carry them over. Now we aren't tackling the ground and all that. You got to protect them, but we were able to do that today, and we'll get a good job of that.
I want to piggyback off Louis' question. You got 30, 31 days until the split season opener. Obviously, you may not name a starter publicly for people like us, but is there a certain point in time in which you got to say, hey, we're 14 days out from the opener, we got to get a guy ready for it?
There is, if it totally reveals itself. And y'all might say, that's coach speak. No, I had a kid at San Jose State named David Fales, who started for us and was one of the best quarterbacks ever in the history of the school. We got him out of junior college, and he had one offer from, I think, Indiana State, a half scholarship offer. And we got him, and there was a good competition between him and another guy. And it went up all the way till the last Monday before the first game. And then he ended up setting every record at the school. And we were just trying to figure it all out, make sure we were correct, and felt good about it. And it worked out really well. So it depends. Then I've had it before where I named the guy, the first week of camp or whatever. So it kind of reveals itself.
So as soon as you know, you'll announce it publicly, or is there a benefit? No, I'm serious. Or is there a benefit to holding out?
That's a great question. I'll know when I come to that time. I've done it both ways, and I just kind of felt what the vibe was going to be with the team and media attention and all that. Just kind of feeling out what kind of pressure that would put whoever under, and it all depends.
Hey Mac, really quick, Dorian Hall was back out there.
Yes.
Epilepsy. Just talk about him a little bit. I know you.
It was awesome seeing Dorian out there. He's a big, athletic young man. I got to know him as soon as I got here. The first time I met with him, and his mom, and we're talking about his situation, and then he did all the stuff he's supposed to. The doctors did an unbelievable job with him, and he's worked tremendously, and he's doing great. It's real inspiration to have him out there, and I know he inspires the players too. So I'm really happy for Dorian being out there playing.
And one thing, because we're going to talk to Tyrese, what's it like to have a guy like that who's a leader? And obviously, you see him on the field, he makes plays no matter what.
The great thing about Tyrese is, wide receivers kind of get a bum rap about being the prima donnas, right? About being the ego seekers, all that. Not Tyrese Chambers, and he could be, but he's not. He's a team guy. He works harder than anybody, works hard as the hardest. He shows up for everything on time. He does everything we ask. I could not be more pleased by him. All the guys like him. He's not a guy that thinks he's better than anybody else. He is a atypical, perfect to me example of a really good player who could be a really good leader, who's a really good person, who is going to be ultra successful for us and when he leaves here. There's no doubt. And whatever he ends up doing, people ought to hire him. I'm telling you, he's incredible.
And he has great hands. There was one catch over here.
I think the best thing about him is a 50-50 ball. Yeah. He's going to come down with it 75% of the time. It's 75-25 when it goes down. Cool. That's a big deal. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Coach.
it. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.